Hey, Corey,
Hello.
got a question for you.
Yes.
How does Superman indicate that he's laughing in a text message?
Hmm. How?
He types Cal LOL.
Get out.
Thank you, folks. I'll be here all
They
week.
put like a door emoji right here. Get out.
The little cane.
Oh god. You know, the idea of Superman texting is just kind of hilarious. Because like, he'd probably like crush the phone or like heat ray vision
Yeah.
through it or something. Or he would just laugh at it and be like, oh, this stupid technology. I can
I
hear
can fly
everybody's
over there and
thoughts."
tell him faster.
Yeah, right. Oh boy. Well, welcome back, friends. Another episode here, the Real Heroes Show. You got Cory and Kevin. Nick is still on assignment, which is code for vacation. So, Nick, hope you're enjoying yourself, buddy. Enjoy that time off. We'll see you back here next week. Continuing our excitement after the week off from everything comic books, after WandaVision and before Falcon Winter Soldier. There's a 4-hour extravaganza coming to HBO Max this week. That is in the form of Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is what we're
Snyder Palooza, baby.
Today. So if you are a fan of releasing the Snyder Cut and restoring the Snyderverse, drop a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to talk about it. Might take a while because it's a 4-hour movie, but it probably means multiple videos. So,
Tune in.
Obviously, this film has been through the ringer. Zack Snyder shot the film back in, I think, late 2015, early 2016. He had to leave the project during the editing because of a family tragedy. One of his daughters committed suicide. So him and his wife, who's an executive producer on the films, had to go. Joss Whedon got brought in by Warner Brothers. They reshot a large portion of the film, injected a lot of humor to try to make it more like a Marvel film, changed some of the music, the jokes, all this other stuff. Movie came out in 2017. Didn't do quite the box office that Warner Brothers was hoping for. Also got, for lack of a better word, shit on by both critics and fans alike for its structure, pacing, the horrible CGI over Henry Cavill's face because his mustache was contractually obligated to be there for Mission Impossible 6. Just a comedy of errors that surrounded this film, and it kind of made the DC extended universe to a degree a laughingstock for fandom and for Hollywood. But as it turns out, fans are a army of their own, I guess you could say, and they started this Release the Snyder Cut movement, and it kept building up steam, and billboards showed up at Comic-Con and at bus stops and all this other stuff, and eventually it became a thing. AT&T,
big thing,
which is the parent company of Warner Brothers and HBO Media, decided, hey, you know what, we're gonna give this guy $70 million to finish out his vision, and we're gonna release it on our new streaming platform, which just conveniently happens to be there now. So this Thursday, the 18th, on HBO Max, you're gonna get the entire Snyder Cut of the Justice League. Again, it is a 4-hour R-rated film compared to the 2-hour PG-13 rated film. They've been doing a ton of marketing for it and trying to hype people up as much as possible. Kevin, I know that marketing has done wonders for you, so I would love to hear where your hype levels are heading into this week in this movie.
Dude, through the roof, I'd say, because I love the DC franchises. You know, I love the Batman franchise. I love Superman. And it's been a while since I was really super excited about any of it. I mean, Christopher Nolan did a good job of getting me hyped up for Batman, but it was a completely different kind of thing.
Sure.
You know, it just wasn't I don't know. It didn't seem so much like a superhero movie. It seemed more like just a gritty crime drama, you know, a guy with some toys, and it was fantastic.
Yep.
So, you know, I don't remember if we mentioned it on this show or if we talked about it offline or what, but there's a stark difference, I think, between the MCU and the DCEU, which is, you know, in the MCU it is mostly humans pretending to be gods, and in the DC universe it is mostly gods pretending to be humans.
Yep.
And it's really interesting to see how those get presented. And with Marvel, the humor works.
Oh, yeah.
Right, it comes across really well. With DC, even though there's a lot of humor in the comics, there's some really funny moments in the comics, it doesn't seem to come across well on the screen. And when you do a lighthearted version of DC, it turns out like not to take anything away from this, but it turns out kind of like some of the CW stuff, which is a little bit more, you know, lighthearted or whatever. And it's
Teenage
great for
soap opera-ish.
Yeah, it's almost more young adult, or, you know, something. But when they take themselves very seriously and they go dark with it, it can be good.
Right.
And we saw flashes of that, I think, with Superman versus Batman. We saw flashes of that, you know.
Man of Steel also.
Man of Steel. Actually, Man of Steel I liked. I thought that was a solid film.
Yeah, we rewatched it last weekend, and I thoroughly enjoyed it after a couple years of not seeing it. So,
and I love Cavill's Superman. I actually am a big fan of Affleck as Batman, especially as Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Gal Gadot, fantastic. I mean, all of the actors in these roles have been wonderful. Mm-hmm. It was just such a fucking train wreck the last time they put them all together on screen, and you know, so that's where a lot of my hype level comes from, is like, please fix this, because I was so excited going into Justice League the first time, and so damn disappointed coming out of it. So with some of the stuff that we've seen, you know, it seems like they are solidifying the villain. They're making this make more sense. None of that shit made sense.
Well, he's actually showing up in this movie.
He's showing up, you know.
He's not in. It's been a while. I saw the Whedon version in theaters, and then I tried to watch it once after it came out on home release, and I fell asleep during it. So I'm not positive, but Darkseid is not in the theatrical cut.
He's not in it. I mean, he's hinted at, you know, there's allusions to that. It's like, oh, well, I can tell he was supposed to be here. You know, but, you know, the VFX weren't good. It was too dark. It was disjointed. It didn't flow well. You know, it was forced.
Yeah.
The whole thing was forced. And I think with this, it should have been probably 2 movies in the first place.
Yeah.
Which is basically what we're getting now. So yeah, I'm beyond excited, actually. What about you? Sorry, I know that was a little long-winded.
No, dude, like it's hard to not be when talking about this film, because they had an idea, you know, and whether or not you're a fan of where they were going, the idea was Man of Steel introduces the Superman character. Batman versus Superman brings Batman and Wonder Woman into it, and, you know, little teases for Cyborg and Flash and Aquaman. Justice League was going to bring them all together, and then there were supposed to be 2 additional Justice League movies that they already have storyboards for. They were supposed to take place after this film, which we'll get into that in a little bit, because Zack Snyder said that this movie ends on a cliffhanger. But you know, I don't like. I think you're onto something where I don't really care for funny DC movies. Like, I thought Birds of Prey was funny, but it was funny in like a really adult way, because it was a very R-rated film, right?
Dark humor, yeah.
Right. While it was funny, it wasn't made for kids. I mean, I like Teen Titans Go, the cartoon show, which is clearly made for children, but like, it's just like, it's a laughable kind of thing. But when you get these characters on screen, I don't think that Bruce Wayne would be like a genuinely funny human being in real life.
No.
He's like a angry hermit, you know? Like,
yes.
So why try to force Batman to make jokes when he doesn't have to? You know,
he's very single-minded, you know.
Yeah. And I I'm really excited to see what Snyder was going for. I think we have a general idea of what the plot is going to be based off of the theatrical version. I mean, much of that probably isn't going to change. Steppenwolf's coming from other boxes, and that's probably going to be the driving force of the film, and obviously the bringing together of all these heroes. But being able to have the time to breathe and the 4-hour runtime, I'm hoping we get fleshed out backstories for Cyborg, for the Flash. I mean, you saw in the trailer, Iris West is in this movie. She was not in the theatrical cut. So, just those things that will make you hopefully care about these characters a little bit more is going to be cool. It also seems like Snyder was like, oh man, this might be my last go at it. Let me throw every DC character I possibly can into this film. So you've got Darkseid, Desaad, Granny Goodness, Deathstroke, the Joker, the entire Justice League, Martian Manhunter is supposed to show. Like, there's just, it's going to be insane. It's literally like a DC crossover event almost, where just like all of their stories come into one. And whether or not the plot is good, it's going to be a visual extravaganza, because Snyder is known for being a very visceral filmmaker when it comes to his visuals. If you've seen 300 or Watchmen or either of his DC movies, you're going to get something that's almost abrasive. It's going to be a very loud film. It's going to have a lot of action, but I don't know. I'm excited as hell for it. And really, I want to see Cyborg's story. I love that character.
So forward to that. Yeah,
I'm looking, and especially to a degree because of the fact that it wasn't really in the original film, but also just because of how they put the actor through the ringer. I don't know if you paid too much attention to it, but like, he has come out and said that the set wasn't a very nice place to work when Joss Whedon was filming the movie, and there were investigations at Warner Brothers about abuse on set and whatnot, and it seems like they kind of just tried to shuffle a lot of that under the rug. So I'm really happy for Ray Fisher, who's the actor that plays Victor Stone, to be able to see his character arc come to life and have other people share in that and have some joy in it with him. So that's really cool. I'm excited for the music. I think Junkie XL said that there's like 54 tracks to the soundtrack, which is nuts. But I guess with a 4-hour movie, you need a lot of music. So, but it should be really cool. I'm excited for a lot of it. One thing I'm curious to hear your thoughts on, I've had this conversation with a few people. How do you feel about the aspect ratio?
So, generally speaking, I'm not bothered by aspect ratios. When something goes from being full screen to letterboxed or whatever, half the time I don't even notice, because I allow myself to get caught up in the story, and I like it that way. I don't generally try to figure things out ahead of time. Changed with WandaVision, but I just get lost in it. With this one though, when I saw the trailers, my initial thought was, what the fuck's up with the aspect ratio? So when you're showing it in IMAX, great. When you're showing IMAX aspect ratio on my screen here in the house, I don't know. I'm not bothered by it. I'm curious. So we'll see if it. I think 5 minutes in, you're gonna forget.
I hope for most people that is the case. And I was talking to a friend about this. Like, for me, I don't think it's gonna matter that much, because I have an OLED television, so those black bars are pure black. It's just not turned on while it's not being illuminated. But for somebody who's on like a regular LED or LCD television, it's going to be like a grayish black on both sides of the story. I hope that's not distracting for people. I hope, like you're saying, they'll be able to just get into it and forget about it. But
when it doesn't move and it doesn't change, your brain tends to tune it out, unless you are just focusing on it and annoyed by it so much initially that you you can't let yourself. But I would say, let yourself get caught up in it, and 5 minutes in, you're probably not going to notice
Yeah.
it anymore.
And it's a 4-hour movie, so
Exactly.
by the time 4 hours is done, you'll probably be used to it, and then going back to widescreen will look weird.
Yeah.
Last thing before we wrap this up, how do you feel about the cutting it into like 6 parts with chapters?
I'm okay with chapters. I'm a Tarantino fan, so chapters are fine with me. I think it'll be interesting. It might be good places to pause and go get a drink or
Go to the bathroom
or something. You know, it's always kind of a roll the dice kind of thing. You know, it's like you got to go and you're waiting, and there's not a good spot, so you just pause it, and inevitably whoever you're watching it with is like, what the fuck now?
For sure.
So yeah, I'm fine with it. I think it'll be cool.
Yeah. Do you think those would be there if this got released in theaters at a 4-hour cut?
Probably not.
Yeah. If
I had to guess, but I don't. I also have a hard time ever seeing a 4-hour cut being released in a theater as a big major release. I mean, you know, when Lord of the Rings came out, we didn't get the 4-hour versions until the DVDs.
Yeah, Return of the King is what, 3?
Yeah,
3 and change.
I mean, it's 3 and change, and then with the director's cut, I think it's maybe
close to 4.
Yeah, a little over. But yeah, it's probably just because it's being released at home, and because he's got so much latitude when it comes to his vision for this.
His vision, yeah, they really they let him go full bore on this one.
But it also, I think, might make it easier when you're doing like reshoots and going back and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It's like, okay, fade to black. All right, cool. Now let's start something new over here. It might have been an easy device for him to get that point across.
Yeah. So do you think this movie comes out, if it's a huge success, people lose their shit over it? Do you think there's any chance the second and third ones ever get a green light, or do you think this truly is it for Zack Snyder and DC?
I think that DC is at their wits' end when it comes to getting people to buy into their universe, and if this is a success and makes money and makes sense, it would follow that there would be more films. Okay. Now, whether Zack is attached to them or not, I don't know, but he's already said that this is going to end on a cliffhanger. Right. If it does, it's going to leave fans clamoring for more. Huh? You know, there's been a couple of movies that have ended on a cliffhanger that was just the end. You know, Christopher Nolan, I'm looking at you.
Or Watchmen season 1 on HBO.
Oh my absolutely. God. And it was fantastic. But guess what? Yeah. Again, DC, right? So it's I think if it makes money, they will continue to want to make money.
Sure. Yeah, I agree.
They're in the business to make money.
So the dollar is the North Star, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, if you guys can't tell, we're hyped for this. I'm excited. I'm gonna watch the shit out of it, and probably pause it multiple times to go to the bathroom. But the better than going to see it in a theater and having to miss something because I had to pee. So that's going to be huge. But
what did I miss?
We would love to hear your comments. Are you excited about this? What about it are you looking forward to? Does the aspect ratio bother you? Do you think there will be more? Leave us a comment below and let us know. And as always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications so that way you never miss another one from us. And be on the lookout. Multiple videos coming out every week. We're going to review Justice League. We're going to review Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We got more 4K Blu-ray reviews and home theater stuff coming. So just keep your eyes peeled. You never know what's coming from us next. And until next time, we will see you guys in the next video.